In Mahapatran's form today, we discuss a topic which is in debate for at least the last 40 years. That is the time computers have started making very significant impact on our lives, whether personal life, professional life, business life, or social life. In the year 1987, a famous economist whose name was Robert Solow made a remark. In 1987, Robert Solow won Nobel Prize in Economics. Solow was a professor emeritus in the famous MIT. He told that we can see the computer age everywhere except in productivity statistics. The initial induction of computers into corporates or into business was to dramatically improve productivity, which is doing more things more accurately in least amount of time. So this productivity statistics lag, or the amount of investment that goes into induction of large computing power and transformation of a manual thing or a semi-automatic thing into fully digital thing, and realizing and harnessing its ROI and ROE potential, which is the matter of interest for the stakeholders, has long been debated since then. At the aggregate macroeconomic level, computerization is making a mark or not is yet another dimension which led to very detailed examination of productivity and computerization relationship over a long period of time. Many research firms subscribe to a theory called the hype cycle to explain the lag between productivity gain and computerization investment. What is a hype cycle? Hype cycle says that there is always a trigger for introducing a technology, introducing an innovation, introducing an initiative. That trigger is either because there is a constant gap which has been observed by the corporate itself or has been flagged to it by its stakeholders, or because the competition has moved so much that this has become essential. Now, this trigger for introducing a new dose of computerization is often followed by what is called a height of inflated expectation. Everybody believes that all problems will get resolved. None of the problems will remain in the same shape. In fact, everything will turn to the better, and it will happen very quickly as if there were a magic wand. Rarely this happens, and people get disillusioned, what is called a trough of disillusionment. And as Mr. Solow told, it is not seen in any productivity. It is only an investment, which is a black hole, which is consuming a lot of organizational and social resource. Gradually, enlightenment dawns, and the fallacy of the heightened expectation was realized by what I called a slope of enlightenment. Disillusionment is followed by a slope of enlightenment, where people believe that they should have moderated their expectation, they shouldn't have expected the moon to begin with, and at the same time the executives, the leadership start pushing for better implementation, taking on board the customer feedback, and all this ultimately leads to a level of productivity which is lower than the height of expectation. You will find that I have given it in a graph. It is lower than the height of inflated expectation. It is higher than the trough of disillusionment, but it is somewhere in between, which is known as the plateau of productivity. The Solow paradox, which mostly happened because of lack of data and lack of measurement standards and models. Any investment will give a return, and this return is a sigma or an aggregate of currency return, synergy returns, and the strategic returns. Many times the synergy returns and the strategic returns which is to be debated, quantified properly. Assumptions have to be made board and decision makers and stakeholders buy-in is required, because at best these are approximations and these are correlations, and there could be double counting. There are no specific methods of getting a strategic ROI. It is typically clubbed under the intangibles. So it's very important to understand that Solow's paradox is because investment measurements, the hype cycle, lack of measurement data. In addition to expectation versus reality gap, project and program management and yield different results have also contributed to this kind of a confusion. Over a period of time, the utility of the computers could be established faster, because in case of people and organizations which have moved later into the computerization bandwagon, the results started showing almost immediately. In case of digital transformation, majority of the organizations are embarking upon, because it is multi-department, organization-wide, and many times it spreads not just inside the organization but with the partner ecosystem, and many of the journeys being cloud provided, the Solow's paradox is manifesting itself. Solow's effect or Solow's paradox, which is a valid concept to conceptualize and understand the lag between investment and productivity, could happen wherever and whenever there are futuristic investments where use cases or implementation modules, implementation project management has not been perfected. Next wave, I guess, will be for the AI implementation. AI implementation as an advancement to generative AI from predictive AI and machine learning will require large amount of investment in computing, and compute is likely to be expensive. Similarly, cloud computing, which is expected to provide better go-to-market, is likely to provide and yield an investment with a lag, rather back-ended. So in the new computer age and in the complex and modern corporate world where there are many moving parts and many variables, optimization is likely to take effect. So the dying phenomenon of Solow's paradox or Solow's effect must be understood by all of us, especially corporate leader, in order to provide the proper perspective while we do performance review, course correct, so that the results are more in line with the expected objectives. Thank you very much.